with the 23rd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Tytus Howard, offensive tackle, Alabama State. Woo! The Texans got an offensive tackle to protect Deshaun Watson. Jesus Christ, man! Like, oh my God! And I'm one to set realistic expectations. Okay, so going into the draft, I said to myself, okay, you know what? There's no way we get Jawan Taylor. He's not going to make it out of the top 10. There is no way we get Andre Dillard. He's not going to make it past 16. But guess what? 22 comes along. Andre Dillard and Jawan Taylor are both there. So the Eagles trade up and pick up Andre Dillard. And you know what? I'm okay with that because I prefer Jawan Taylor over Dillard anyways. So once Dillard went, the Texans were on the clock, and I was like, you know what? There is no way the Texans messes up. This is so easy. Take Jawan Taylor. You know, that's what I would have done. But you know what? I was like, you know, I'm mentally preparing myself. They can take Greedy Williams, and I'll be okay with that. They can take Montez Sweat, and I would have been okay with that. They could have even taken Cody Ford, and I would have been okay with that. Because you know why? Before the draft started, I tweeted out, I'd be happy at the end of the night as long as the Texans didn't draft something stupid, like a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end, or a safety. And also if they didn't reach for anyone. Also added that on to the end of the tweet. But guess what? Pick 23 comes along. And the pick I thought was so easy to make, Jawan Taylor. I thought the Texans were going to make that pick. But you know what they went with? Tytus Howard. A guy with a late second round grade. A guy who probably most likely would have been there with one of those second round picks for them. And if they were scared he wasn't going to be there, they could have traded up for him in the second round. That's my problem with it. I don't hate Tytus Howard. Like, I don't hate him. I just don't think he should have been picked at 23. If he would have been picked in the second round, I would have been fine with it. But the reason why I hate him here at 23 is because this guy is a development project. That's straight up what he is. This guy shouldn't be starting day one. First round picks should be starting day one. You're really going to throw this guy out there. You're really relying on Mike Devlin to develop this guy. Like, seriously. Think about that. The Texans are relying on Mike Devlin. Mike Devlin has yet to develop a single offensive lineman since he's been on the Texans. I mean, maybe you could make an argument for Kendall Lamb, who went from being straight garbage to just regular garbage. Like, seriously, he has not developed a single offensive lineman. Yet, here's Brian Gaine and Bill O'Brien thinking that this guy is going to develop Tytus Howard. And I'm not going to be pissed at Tytus Howard. Like, it's not his fault. He got drafted by an incompetent front office at 23. So if this guy would have went in the second round, I would have been okay with it. But the fact that we took him in the first round, it's just outrageous. First round players are day one starters, high impact players. Tytus Howard is not a high impact player. He is not a day one starter. He's not. This guy, he's probably going to be asked to play right tackle day one. He's not going to do a good job because he has so many flaws. I mean, athletically, this guy has potential. I'm not going to sit here and say this guy has no potential at all. He just, I'm not going to sit here and call him a bust right off the bat. But most likely that's the way his career is going to go down if, Mike Devlin doesn't get out of town quick. Because Mike Devlin is not going to do this guy any favors. He's probably going to make him worse, honestly. But he has potential. He has, athleticism. But other than that, this guy needs a lot of work. He needs to work on his hand usage, his leverage, his strength. And in run plays, he tends to hug the guy in front of him. So in the NFL, when you hug a guy, in high school, college football, when you hug a guy, that's a holding call. So this guy has a whole lot of issues. He's got a whole lot of work ahead of him. And, I hope the best for him because, again, at the end of the day, he's on the Texans. And I'm not going to hope that he sucks just to prove me right. I hope he proves me wrong. But, the odds are stacked against him. I feel bad for the guy. He didn't ask to be drafted this high. Expectations are high on him. Our O-line last year was trash. And now the Texans drafted a guy who shouldn't have went in the first round. So now obviously expectations are high. And, he has Mike Devlin as his coach. So all the odds are kind of stacked against him. I kind of feel bad for the guy. And again, I'm not going to be mad at Tytus Howard. I'm mad at Brian Gain and Bill O'Brien in the Texans front office for selecting Tytus Howard so early when Jawan Taylor and Greedy Williams were literally right there. It wasn't hard at all. Pick was easy, but you decided to go Tytus Howard. This is a move that a dysfunctional franchise makes. I was literally there, sitting, watching the draft, making fun of the Raiders for picking Farrell 4th overall. I was making fun of the Giants for picking a quarterback at 6th. I made fun of the Lions for picking a tight end at 8. But you know what? The Texans made the worst move of the night. Because, if the Giants think that guy's their guy, well, you know what? At least he can sit behind Eli Manning for a year and learn some. The Raiders, Farrell, at least he had a first-round grade at some point. The Lions with Hawkinson, at least he had a first-round grade. But the Texans took a guy with a late second-round grade. Early third in some places. And you guys know me. This offseason, I've been neutral. I've criticized the moves that, should have been criticized. And liked the moves that were good moves. That I thought were good moves. This is a bad move. A terrible move. Jesus Christ. I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. Tytus Howard. He's not going to come in here. He's not going to be this dominant guy. He's not going to do anything for the Texans year one. And he might not do anything for the Texans ever. Because as long as Mike Devlin is his O-line coach, he's not going to get the required help to improve. He's not. Mike Devlin has yet to develop a guy. If the Texans had a competent O-line coach, maybe I wouldn't be so mad. But since they got probably the worst O-line coach in the league, that makes things terrible. And yes, they did technically address the need But just because you went and picked up a guy at a position of need doesn't mean that you necessarily went about it the right way. Because Tytus Howard would have been there in the second round for the Texans. And if they were really scared, like I said, if they were scared he wasn't going to be there, they could have just traded up. Brian Kane said they were going to go best player available. They did not go best player available. They did not. They reached far. Like, probably about 40 picks. This guy, I'm telling you, he would have been there 100% in the second round. I don't understand why they made this pick. It literally makes zero sense to me. The draft literally fell in your favor. Literally. It fell in the Texans' favor. Everything went right for the Texans. But like usual, when it comes down to it, the Texans failed. Everything was set up perfectly for them, but the Texans messed it up. You know, just how last season, you know, they had the number 2 seed. All they had to do was win one game. They failed that. They had Jawan Taylor fall on their laps. They failed that. Like, Jesus Christ. Brian Gain is officially on the hot seat. I'm sorry, but this pick is a fireable offense. Seriously, this is such a terrible pick. And again, don't hate Tytus Howard. Hate the Texans front office for putting him in such a bad situation. Howard did not ask to be drafted by us. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. This is so bad. Yeah, at least we got 2 second round picks to look forward to tomorrow. Let's see how the Texans blow these picks. Like, seriously. Jawan Taylor fell right onto our laps. Brian Gain picked a development project. Jesus Christ. Well, sorry if you guys think I'm being too negative, but I'm just saying it how it is. Like, I'm sorry. That's just how I feel right now. At the end of the draft, probably on Monday, I'll draft a more level-headed breakdown of the draft picks, but as of right now, I'm grading this pick a straight up F. Like, it's bad. It's bad, but we'll see how the whole draft class looks like. We'll see, but off to a terrible start. Probably the worst start that any team could have had in this draft. Like, this is literally terrible. Like, pray for Deshaun type of terrible. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.